Hey everybody, Lena Rodriguez coming to you from Australia. Now, speaking of Australia, 2 days ago, MAGA people announced they were boycotting Australia. You've no idea how hilarious that is from this end. First of all, you wouldn't be allowed in, pet. That's the whole point. No. Look, I doubt more than 3 MAGA files have a passport. It's, an empty threat. But really, they don't get it. Australia has been very harsh, very, very harsh on the lockdown. That is true. But the result is our death toll is 400% lower than the United States, allowing for population differences, 400%. So it was for a reason, a public health reason. Anyway, moving right along. Lots to cover today, including more on Ghislaine, Ginny Thomas, that weird wife of Clarence Thomas. I'm going to read on Joe Rogan. But I want to start with the fake electors, right? In 5 states, I think it was, where people were nominated as electoral officials and submitted false paperwork, completely fraudulent paperwork, higher up the government ladder, which is, not surprisingly, a crime. Okay, now, as far as I know, correct me if I'm wrong, intrepid viewers, it's only Michigan so far. The other states are looking into it, but Michigan's saying, no, this is a federal issue. It was a federal election, federal issue, handing it over to the FBI. So I want to have a look here. What will happen? It's so hard to keep track of all of it, isn't it? With the fake electors story. The fake electors as individuals and who gave them the orders. What did they think they were doing? All right, here we go. I'm using my Japaritse cards. I hope you like them. Fake electors. Oh, they have to make a decision. Ace of Swords. Now, here we go. The first card out is the 2 wolves. Now, these days we all love wolves. And do you know, everyone, we've had a wolf moon, the first full moon of the year, a wolf moon. Look, I love wolves, and there's lots to be said for wolves, and this card can go either way. The loyalty of the wolf, the fearsomeness of the wolf, and lots of things. Or it can be that mythological stereotype of the wolf in sheep's clothing and the killer side of the wolf. So it was, I think, more of that, the 2 wolves planning, obviously more than 2, but meaning 2 parties coming together. Then there's the Lovers card. So this, to me, is supporting that interpretation of the wolves, because this is working together. Working together. I'm sure these people would say, with their hand on their heart, oh, I'm doing it for the country. The fact that you're dismantling democracy has sort of escaped them. But there was a great deal of working together, because you can't just have half a dozen people walk in, redo the ballots and ship them off to an office in the federal government without having higher echelon help. The 10 of Tides, this is going to whoosh over them. They're going to seriously regret this, is my take on it. It's up in the sky now, but it's going to come crashing back to earth. The 2 of Swords, note these 2s. I think the two here is about who will give up who. I think some will be torn between wanting to speak to clear their own names, and others will be burying the information as fast as they can. The shredders will be on overdrive, the phones will be deleted. They'll be doing everything, but in today's world, you can't escape, right? So they have to make this decision. Are they going to cooperate, or are they going to go down the long, painful route? In any event, Ace of Tides, Ace of Swords, the crystal light of clarity and truth will be shining down upon their sorry asses. Okay. I think this one's got legs, and it's going to hopefully play out. We know how long the legal stuff takes, but hopefully it'll play out sometimes. So at least they're really worried, those particular states who behaved in this way before 2022. There'll be extra vigilance on those states. That's that, boom, diamond of clarity, right? Okay. Now, while I'm shuffling, oh, yes, Stuart Rhodes, remember I talked about him in the last video, the Oath Keeper leader, and he wears an eye patch. And I was watching Johnny, Becca, Jen Lynn, their Sunday program, which is great. So be alert to that next Sunday coming up, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm going to join them. But they were saying, I hope it's true, it's unbelievable. Are you sitting down, intrepid viewers? How did he lose the sight in that eye? He shot himself through the eye while demonstrating gun safety at a workshop he was running. I mean, you couldn't script it. You really couldn't. Is this a true story? Can people please let me know? Or is it a satire? But I have an awful feeling. His ex-wife describes him as a dangerous psychopath, and I'm sure she'd know. Okay, but I mean, okay, now, Ghislaine, I've felt weird about the whole Ghislaine thing. Will she end up getting a mistrial because one of the jurors admitted to being abused and influencing the other jurors to what it means for survivors of that, and well-intentioned, but you're not supposed to do it, and she could get a mistrial, so I was worried about that. But now she's up for sentencing. She's decided, I'm not going down this river alone, and she's going to name some names. So let's see what Ghislaine's new cooperation will reveal. She's hung tough until now, but really, oops, go in, you beast cards. These cards are so huge. I love them, but they're very difficult to shuffle. Ghislaine, what's going to happen? Francophone viewers, I'm very sorry about my French accent. All right. The names. Oh. Oh. I think, here we go. Look, the first card out is Justice. I like that as an opening card. Right. She knows it's raining. Okay. Next, we have the Stranger of Winds. This is keeping everything secret and very dark and not letting on, and, I mean, look, really. But she's going to be very forthcoming now, because I think she's been a bit shocked at the lack of support she's got from the powers that be, because she's been left in fairly average, segregated circumstances. Her very wealthy, powerful friends don't seem to have got her many amenities or any softening things for the jail experience. And you know what? I think she's going to turn on them big time. This is her, look, I don't think it's her mea culpa moment, because I still think she doesn't get it in some level. But this is her vision. If she's going to have a future at all, she doesn't have a choice. She's going to go forward. And I'm sure her interrogators will say, well, we're not interested in this one and that one. We want higher up, please. More. But she's aiming for the stars. The magician. Now, the magician, major, power, transformation, adaptation, all those things. But power goes both ways. Is this good juju or bad juju? I think with Ghislaine's history, I wouldn't want to be in the little black book from here on in. She is going to be more in danger, I don't doubt that, but she's got nothing to lose, and I think she's going to go all out, because following this is the Empress. So the Empress magnifies things, right? So I think she could get away with, say, delivering 2 names or 4 names, but I think she's going to give up a lot of names and just see what happens. Oh, Ghislaine, you wicked, wicked girl. All right. Now. Oh, yes, in other news, Don Jr. and the inflatable fiance, yes. What's her face? Guilfoyle, Kimberly Guilfoyle, are in a rush to get married. And many people are suggesting that's because then they can't be up, you know, spousal privilege. They can't be asked to testify against each other. So is that the story? She's such a weird one. She raised proudly $3 million for the Stop the Steal, which puts her squarely in the sights. Remember when she was offering lap dances for fundraisers? Apart from that, she's really normal. I mean, she's like these vicious, twisted sociopaths like MJT. They're mad, absolutely mad. Okay, let's look at the marriage of Don Jr. and Kimberly. Gotta have a bit of fun, don't we, viewers, really? Ah, yes, they're strategizing. Oh, look, it couldn't be clearer. I should photograph this spread and use it as a tool with my tarot students, because really this is crystal. Here they are strategizing behind the scenes to evade justice and be able to walk away from having to testify against each other and live the good life. It couldn't be clearer. It's just an absolute slam dunk. And that'd be fine and would make sense if there weren't another 150 charges out there. Are they that deluded? Well, to answer my own question, yeah, probably. All right. Now, before I get to Ginny Thomas, no, I'll do her now. Ginny Thomas, wife of Clarence, and entertainment purposes only, but it's in the public domain. She is a great conspiracy theorist and an enthusiastic fundraiser, again, for Stop the Steal. So I want to know, will she be brought in about the fundraising? They're getting braver now. Oh, I knew that was the other thing, the 4 lawyers. We've got to talk about the lawyers. I'll do that. 4 lawyers that were subpoenaed today. Oh my God. Okay. Oh, Ace of Swords fell out for Jenny. Married to Clarence. Will she be exposed for serious charges? I'm not interested in hand slaps. Will there be serious charges for Jenny? Will there be serious charges? Well, the one that leapt out of the pack was cutting through. Also note, the sword is piercing the crown, meaning his position can't save her on this. Oh, sorry, let me do this. Oh, the Justice card's getting a workout today. It's funny when we... Right, now, she's having a little lie down, and I don't know what her problem is. I really don't know what her problem is. But there's some issues. I don't think she's that well. Well, that's a pretty broad spectrum, isn't it? But I'm thinking she's not particularly well. But what I suspect they're both working on is the fine print. He'd be making some phone calls now, you can be assured, and trying to find the paperwork so perhaps it can make its way to the shredder in the middle of the night too. This is fine print stuff. This is detail. I think he's more worried than she is. Unless he's so far down the rabbit hole, he thinks this behaviour is all right. And outcome justice. So with Ginny Thomas, wouldn't that be something? The wife of a SCOTUS. Look, we have to take Garland at his word at this stage. Now, in case you haven't caught up with the latest 20 minutes in all this saga, the Jan 6 committee has subpoenaed 4 of Trump's lawyers, including Giuliani, Sidney Powell, Jenna Ellis, and Boris Epstein. Right, now they've subpoenaed them to answer for their role in propagating the lie and instigating these pointless, endless court cases. 4 of them. So I'm going to read on them together. And just see how it's going to go. I'm just going to do a general throw here. How's it going to go for the 4 Trump lawyers? How's it going? And Giuliani and Sidney Powell in particular, we know, went public over and over and over again to support this nonsense. Let's see. Oh, I just heard Giuliani's going to start pulling the mental health card, which is what I've always thought would be the future of the Yeti. Okay, so we'll see what happens here with these cards. So in the middle, doing a different spread. Well, here we go with the King of Swords. This was them collectively using their legal clout to fulfill the hidden agendas of the Yeti and their own, because we know the Yeti has a barely functioning brain cell. So he hasn't come up with any of these schemes. It's always other people. You know, he just huffs and puffs and goes, just do it, just make it happen. You know, otherwise I won't be your friend. But nonetheless, his agendas, and eventually, out of all these people and all these scenarios, the fingers are going to start coming back to the Yeti. And we all know it's really hard to prove intent However, I think there'll be so many blatant examples. We'll see. So that's what they set out to do. They thought it was a good idea. They pushed themselves forward. None of these are junior players. None of these had their arms twisted. They're calculating and thinking for their own reasons that become apparent at the end of this spread. They are the ones coming up with the ideas and thinking they're good ideas to serve their purposes. They're convinced of their own powers. All right, it's very Hogwarts. Yeah. And as so often with these people, it's about the money, meaning their own careers and money. It's nothing to do with patriotism. It, in fact, in their case, is the opposite of patriotism. It's, I will sell the democracy out. I will destroy the social experiment of the Republic of the United States of America because I can make some money. How banal. I'm reminded of that phrase, the banality of evil. People's motives are really low, subterranean in some cases. All right. So Joe Rogan has a mega audience of millions. Here's the thing, I've watched a bit of Joe Rogan dipping in over the last couple of years. Look, I don't mind the guy. That might sound strange, but I don't mind the guy. He's one of those people who's self-educated and he's doing, I don't agree with what he says often, but he's putting it out there. It only becomes a problem when you are peddling radical misinformation. And he doesn't always. He does a lot, but not always. So I don't put him in the same basket as Fox commentators. Please don't ever call them journalists. Fox commentators who are sitting there vaxxed to the eyeballs saying don't get vaccinated. It's that hypocrisy that gets me, not whether someone is or isn't vaccinated. It's the hypocrisy that's mind-bending. So anyway, let's have a look at Joe Rogan. He got hauled over the coals by a mate who was Australian, who put him right on a few things, and then some merchant doctor came back and defended all this nonsense. I'm not even interested in the fine print. I just want to have a look at, will Joe Rogan, what is the question? When in doubt, ask, tell me about Joe Rogan. Because I'm not wishing him oblivion or anything like that. I just want to know, because he is powerful, what's going to happen to Joe Rogan. Okay, let's have a little look. Ace of Wands, still powerful. Is Joe Rogan married? Has he got a daughter? This could be a daughter or a sister who has it, because he's got two daughter cards here. Daughters, sisters, nieces, younger women who he adores. All right. Okay, here we go. These are different cards again. This is the deck by R. Black. Very beautiful. Hold on. Okay, so here we have the Ace of Wands. Very direct. That's him. He's a mouthpiece, but I don't think he's a brainless mouthpiece. But he's got to be careful because he's got so much power. There's his power up front. Then there are these two younger women. They have to represent something important to double up like this in his life. It could be women viewers of his podcast, but I don't think so. I think they're either related or very, very close to him, that sort of keep him on an even keel to some extent. Sometime, I'd say in the next 6 months, he has, or 3 to 6 months, he has to make a decision with this Two of Swords. He might make a decision to actually reinvent himself a bit. I think so. I think He doesn't want to be known as the dumb guy, and he isn't. He doesn't want to be a force for destruction. I don't think he does. Really, I don't. So, please don't write to me if I'm being too soft on Joe Rogan. He can do some foul and filthy things, but I don't think he's coming from that space. So I think he might be having a bit of a think. All right, bit of a think going on for Joe. All right, then in other news, before I go, those of you who have watched this channel from the beginning have heard me 100 times saying, I don't read on the royals, don't read on the royals. But now we're witnessing the twilight of the monarchy. So you know what? I might start doing some readings. So don't forget, Sunday, Eastern Standard Time, 8 p.m. on Jen Lynn's Tarot. And I'll see you there. Oh, wait. You know, my end of my videos are always them. I have to give my heartfelt prayers for Tonga. Malolele olofa. Tonga. Dear Tonga. Take care. Bye.